It's the Schick Show.
It's the Schick Show.
It's the Schick Show.
So welcome everybody. This is the Schick Show. I am Scott Schick, your host. You've been here before, then you know who I am. It's nothing new to you. But today, pretty awesome. So, I've always said, hey, if you want to come on the show, just give me a shout out, send me a message, let me know. And lo and behold, I had early on one of my friends here, he reached out, and I've known this guy since he was just a little dude, and I was coaching his sister Shannon and hanging out with Keith, and so man, I'm super excited to talk to him today and for you guys to get to know him. It is Chris Secrest, and Chris, you are a freshman at Blackford High School, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going into ninth grade. So
Man, how exciting is that?
It's somewhat exciting, but then there's like the parts where like you're kind of scared because like
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just scared for high school altogether. But
Why are you scared for high school?
I don't know, I'm not like the best in school, but like I'm gonna try and like do better so I can actually like be able to go to college and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But,
What do you like about school?
probably like all the like kids there and like some of the teachers, but like mostly it was just like talking to people and just meeting new people.
Just a social
Yeah.
environment, hanging out with people, getting to know them.
Yeah.
It is a nerve-wracking thing to go from eighth grade on into the high school environment, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even though you guys are in the same building, you don't intermix a whole lot.
No.
No. Well, hey, so what I'm saying here is Chris reached out to me and he was like, I want to be on the podcast. And I'm like, so my first question is always, why? Why you want to be on the podcast?
Well, mostly, it was because like I've known you for a while and I've always like really liked you, and I just wanted to, kind of a reason to, kind of like get together and just talk again, and
Cool.
it's just I've always really liked you.
So Chris was dropped off by his grandpa, and when his grandpa dropped him off, I introduced myself, and I said, I've known Chris for a while. I coached his big sister, and we got to know each other out in softball diamond. And he was always bringing Muddy Buddies, and one of my favorite treats are Muddy Buddies. The Chex Muddy Buddies, man, I love those things, and and I love to get a laugh out of anybody, right? I mean, that's something that started early on with my mom, and always like make her laugh, and anybody that mattered. Here I am. I'm married 26 years. I still love getting a giggle out of Jennifer. It's one of my favorite things on earth. It just makes my heart smile, man. But I would say, oh, Muddy Buddies, huh? You get the, hey, Chris, you got any Muddy Buddies? Hey, buddy, give me some Muddy Buddies. Does that ring a bell at all? He's like, God, man, it's been a while. I was just
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
So that's how we kind of got to know each other, is through softball. And, softball blessed me with a lot of great friendships. Man, so many great people, getting to know them. And, Keith and Shannon, certainly two of those. And, man. So what is it about podcasting that's exciting to you?
Mostly just like like being able to talk to people and just expressing like just everything pretty much.
Yeah.
I just like everything about it pretty much.
So I see your videos about guitar playing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I watch you play some guitar. What's that all about? Tell me about that.
Well, it first started off. My dad used to play guitar a lot. I wouldn't say he's the best at it, but he played. He
He's a
played
picker.
drum. Yeah, he played drums too. He was all right at that. But it mostly started off out with my sister Shannon. She or no, it was one day after her softball practice. I was like watching like a YouTube video, and there was like a song by the band Green Day, and it was American Idiot. That's what really triggered me. I didn't really think anything of it when I was watching the video, but it was like right when Shannon was gonna take me home, she played it on her speaker in the car, and then that's like when it triggered me. I was like, hey, I heard this on a YouTube video. So then I started listening to just a whole bunch of Green Day. That got me going, and then like I think about a year later, my dad's buddy, his name was Chris Reynolds. He gave me an old Disney guitar, and I just used to mess around on that. But then one day I watched a YouTube video, and I was trying to learn how to play that American Idiot song, and it just showed me the basic it's called a power chord, where you just put your like fingers in like 2 different spots and just playing. It makes a really simple noise. But yeah, simple, I guess. But yeah, I tried teaching that to a bunch of my friends, but they say it's really hard to spread their fingers that wide.
Not everybody can pick it up, my man.
I know.
Like, it's a talent.
I mean, I got short little stubby fingers. I'm surprised I can actually do it. But I got like friends with like really long fingers and they still can't do it. It's strange, but I think it's strange. But yeah, I got that basic chord down, and then I just started to like listen to more Green Day and see if I could start playing it. I've really never like watched a guitar lesson. I mostly learned it just by myself.
Sure.
So, I learned every Green Day song that I know. I've learned just by hearing it. Besides maybe American Idiot, I guess. But yeah, that got me going. And like once I was like, hey, I can actually do this. Then I started to play more complex songs like Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Sure.
I can play that.
Yeah.
Some Metallica songs, but Keith, whenever I go out to the garage, I show him something that I just learned. I'm like, hey, listen to this. He pulls up a YouTube video sometimes, like on like YouTube Music or whatever it's called. He asks, hey, can you play this? So I play it, and he's like, whoa, wow. Because like I learn it within the span of like maybe like 2 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had that skill. Like, I can't just sit there and listen to something and then play it. Now I could sing it.
Yeah.
I'm a singer and I get that, but when it came to playing an instrument, just not who I am. But I love it that you guys your generation has YouTube available to you. It eliminates so many excuses for why you may not know how to do something. So I look forward to, hopefully one of these days when I have grandkids or something, I can be like, just watch YouTube. Let's watch
Yeah.
YouTube together and just hang out and learn to play something. But that's awesome. What's your favorite song to play?
Probably, like out of like any song.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably. Honestly, probably Master of Puppets, because that's like what I mainly warm up with. I know it's like crazy to say, but like since it's such a complex song, but that's kind of what I warm up with, and then I just start going into like just basic Green Day and stuff.
You a big Green Day fan?
Not as much as I used to be, but I used to go crazy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a pretty big fan now. But
How many of their songs? So as you're playing the guitar, how many times? And I guess you'd call it a riff. How many of those riffs repeat, or those power chords repeat song to song? Is it pretty often?
yeah.
Does that make it more simple? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I get. Now it's just a pattern.
Yeah.
So when it comes to patterns, are you a video game guy too, or?
Mm-hmm.
And video games are all about patterns as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
some of them anyway. And I think all of them are. But that's interesting. Are you a Rubik's Cube guy? You got a Rubik's Cube next to you.
I mean, I like to just mess around with them, but I can never really get them.
There's a pattern to it. There's a
yeah.
YouTube video out there. I've had students that Rubik's Cube actually came from a student in my class. And sorry, I think I know whose it is, but I don't want to say it because it might be somebody else's. There was like 2 people that I've had as students that were really into Rubik's Cube. And I've had to take them away before, but and now they're here because they never came back to get them from my office at the end of the school year. But patterns are interesting.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to guitar playing, it's interesting that you're able to recognize, oh, okay, that's that chord, that's that, and how that flows through. So I want to touch base back on going from 8th grade up to the high school, and really touch on that because I think it's important because we've all been there. Like pretty much every adult has been there, and I was a 7th, 8th grade teacher and administrator for the past 9 years. So I'm thinking about, I always have this conversation with my students about what's that feel like? What's the anxiety? What's the things that's worrying you the most? Are you afraid you're going to be late to class because you can't get all the way from gym up to wherever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fortunate thing about the high school is about the furthest thing from the furthest thing would be maybe your math classes upstairs to art,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not that big of a spread. I think you're going to be just fine, man. Is there any anxiety about getting to class on time?
Yeah, I had that like really bad like last year too for 8th grade because I would have PE. Do you know where like the new Sutton Center gym
Hmm.
is now? Yeah, I would have PE there, and then I'd have to rush all the way upstairs to go to science, and then all the way back down to math.
With Mr. Allen.
Yeah,
Man, I love Mr.
me
Allen,
too.
dude. Like,
He was one of my favorites.
love that guy.
Yeah. Also, 7th grade. My favorite teacher like of all time by far is Mr. Simmons.
Ah,
I remember you had him on here.
dude, love Mr. Simpson.
Mhm.
That guy was my teacher. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh my
You know he's
gosh.
younger than me, right?
What?
Oh, now you're like, I've got his brain all twisted
Hold
up in
on.
here.
What?
Uh-huh. So I wasn't always a teacher. I didn't start teaching until I was much older. I was 40 years old when I started teaching, and I was a 6th grade science teacher at Northside. So Mr. Simpson was a 6th grade math teacher at Northside. He was my mentor teacher. So he was like there to take care of me, make sure I was doing okay. And, if I had any questions or problems, he was my teacher.
Hmm.
So we both had a pretty awesome teacher there. And, you've encountered some great teachers. I've worked with a lot of those
Yeah.
folks, and you've been really blessed to have some great teachers
Yeah.
come through. Now, did you have him for 7th grade?
Yeah.
7th grade math?
7th grade.
You didn't have him for 6th grade though.
No, because all my like elementary like kindergarten through 6th grade, I always went to Montpelier.
Okay.
But in 6th grade, I think 6th grade I actually almost failed because I was doing e-learning,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Oh,
just
yeah.
didn't really get on me, and that just really like got me like slacking and stuff, and it almost got to the point where I did almost fail. So that's the first year I ever had to do summer school, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be, but like I just didn't like the idea of being in summer school.
Yeah. Nobody.
So
No one does. No one
yeah.
wants you there. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thinking about that, you just brought something up that I've touched on quite a bit. You're a COVID kid.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the kids that had to suffer through some COVID years with learning how to learn online,
Mm-hmm.
and while your teachers are learning how to teach online. Man, what are your thoughts there? You have any? What's one of your favorite things about that year or year and a half, really?
Probably just slacking. I gotta be honest.
Man, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking for.
and mostly just being home.
Yeah,
Just so I
being
can
home,
finish
hanging
early.
out.
And, yeah.
You get done early. Like your classes were abbreviated, right? They
Mhm.
weren't as long as they normally would be.
Yeah. Every now and then we'd have like meetings,
Mm-hmm.
but we never really just stayed on a call and didn't like. That's how we did our work. It'd be like, hey, get on for today, do your math, English, art, and then get off or stuff like that.
Right. Check in with me if you have any questions.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what was the best thing about coming back?
Talking to everyone.
Yeah,
Talking to
seeing your friends, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Did that cause any problems?
Uh, not really. It's just I was kind of still slacking from like then, but this year I started to get on it a little more. Like 8th grade, I started to get on it a little more. My grades are getting significantly better, but like it's like right when the end of the year when it just like all falls down.
Mhm.
Like
What is it about the end of the year? Just the
it's just really like stressful and like it's I don't know. It's just I don't know how to explain it.
I'm asking, are you 15, 14, or 15?
Turning 15 in August.
Turning 15 in a month. Yeah, what's
Mhm.
your birthday?
August 5th.
August 5th. Everybody give him a shout out on August 5th. You put it out there now, buddy.
Yeah.
But when we first started talking, you had sent me a calendar of what was going on this summer.
Mm-hmm.
You got some things happening, man. You're
Yeah.
a busy fella.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Do you remember?
Just what I'm like doing for football this year. It's mostly just like work, like weightlifting and like conditioning, like running and stuff. But like every Thursday we have something called a team night
Mm-hmm.
where pretty much we just run plays.
Nice.
But
What do you think about that? What do you think about this level of football versus? Did you play 7th and 8th
I
grade?
didn't. I didn't.
No.
This is my first
Oh
year.
man!
So.
Well, I'm glad you're playing. You talk about having a great teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a great coach, and I'm a big fan of Coach Seahigh, and
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy. He and I hit it off when he first started teaching at Blackford schools, and we were right across the hall from one another. And man, he got me fired up about life and just everything. The guy is a great motivator, and I'm excited for you. He knows the game of football like no other. you've got one of the greats right there as your coach. You
Yeah.
guys seen a lot.
Yeah.
What's been the toughest part of that?
Probably just the running part.
Running.
Yeah. I liked everything else. I mean, I can deal with the running because most of the time we do this thing called they call them 50-50s,
Mm-hmm.
where it's pretty much they give you like a part of the track to run, and then you can just walk the other half, and you just keep doing that over and over. We usually do it about like 3 laps.
Okay.
But yeah, that's usually the easiest days. Most recently, that's what's been happening. But I did, I'm gonna admit it. I skipped like the week before, like this most recent one.
Uh-huh.
We already had this like most recent week off, so I skipped the week before that because on the sheet it said we had 2 weeks off, and I was looking really forward to it. So I just said might as well, and I just skipped it.
So you back full in when you start this week, right?
Yeah,
You guys back
tomorrow
in?
I go back to it.
It's called a moratorium week. For those
Yeah.
that don't know, you have a week in high school sports where there are no high school sports of any kind of contact with coaches, etc., going on, and gives the kids a break, gives coaches a break, and families go on vacations and whatnot. But good. Are you excited to play?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited. The only thing I'd say I'm really like not iffy about is getting a bone broken or something.
Really?
Yeah, because Keith, he got his back broken from football, and ever since he's always been hurting, and
Yeah.
he has to take pain meds, and I don't want to be like that.
Sure.
So
Well, just pay close attention. Work on that strength training, and follow your coaches really closely. That's what they're there for. They're going to help you
Yeah.
out a ton.
mhm.
That's exciting. So share with us about coming on the Schick Show. Is podcasting something you're interested in?
Well, now that I'm actually here and like seeing how it's like, I'd probably say yeah.
Yeah?
It's pretty interesting. It's nice.
I've had a lot of people comment. It's just kind of like the vibe of the room, so on
Yeah.
and so forth. About the only
Mhm.
thing I have left to do. I've got a few pictures to hang. If you look around the room, these are all things that I enjoy, or they've impacted me in some way. And like behind you are pictures of my family, and I put them there purposefully so I could see them. That's my
Yeah.
family, man.
Yeah.
That's my love, and I've always been a huge Bob Ross fan. And
My mom used to be too.
yeah,
I used to watch the show with her because like there was this thing like we used to live out in like the apartments in Montpelier. They had like a old TV channel where it'd show like old TV shows.
yeah,
I used to watch Bob Ross with her all the time, just old shows.
yeah.
So just like thinking about Bob Ross just makes me think about my mom automatically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Same here. That's exactly where I was introduced to him. My mom was a huge fan, and there's pictures up there of my grandma with Bob Ross, and I'll show those to you when we get off here. But
Okay.
I've been very blessed. So the chair there was, you may have heard on a previous podcast, that was made by one of my students at Madison, Indiana, Mr. Fagan's class, and them made that chair, and it was up for an auction. I ended up buying it. And then to your left, the wire mask, that's also a student piece that I'd bought.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've seen that like on your like Facebook, I think.
Yeah,
a few times.
probably. Yeah, so, just some different things in here that get me inspired. My music stuff over here from the old band Cuffed and Bucket, and just inspirational stuff to keep my creative juices flowing. I believe I'm a creative. I like to think I am.
Mhm.
This is definitely not for everybody. It's pretty busy if you look around.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. But I like it, and there's actually more coming in. I have some of these statues downstairs that were my dad's. He had bought them at an auction or something, but when I saw them, I was like, oh, I gotta have them. And I tried to buy them off of him numerous times. He wouldn't sell them to me. He was like, no, I'm gonna sell them. I'm gonna take them to the auction. They're not. You can't buy them. Well, I ended up buying them at an auction after he passed away. At his auction that we sold everything. So, Dad, I ended up getting them for $50 cheaper than what he would have sold them to me.
Wow,
So,
$50.
Well, they cost me $5. I paid $5 for them.
Oh.
He was going to charge me like $50. Well, in fact, I offered him $50 and he wouldn't take it. So, hey, snooze you lose. That's probably a bad joke talking about my dad that way, but he would probably like it. My mom would laugh. But so I've got a couple questions here. Are you ready?
I think
All
I am.
right.
Yeah.
So, like I said in the beginning of this process, Chris had reached out to me and he expressed some interest in coming on. We've talked about that. I want to ask you if there was something like this offered at the high school, if there was some sort of podcasting club, class, some kind of, where it's just all high school kid created, supervised by a teacher or something. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Probably because like I'm not big on like getting in front of like a camera. I'm not big on getting in front of a camera or anything like that. I just like like not being able to be seen in case like I make like the wrong face or something just little.
Pick your nose.
Yeah.
That's what I always say, if I was to pick my nose or something, nobody's
Yeah.
gonna know that.
But yeah, I'd probably get in it because I just like podcasts because like I said I don't like being in front of cameras or
Yeah.
anything like that because it just makes me feel like looked at and it's just like what that's kind of weird.
It's one thing to be heard; it's another to be seen, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I have a face for radio, a face for podcasting. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that guy. Well, you can't because you can't see me, right? So, do you think that's something other kids would be interested in?
Maybe.
It's been interesting to me to see how many kids have reached out and said, "Oh man, I'm listening to your podcast," and former students of mine, obviously. I've had this idea, and I'm going to throw it at you. All right, so I'm putting all the weight on Chris now. It is all up to Chris. If I plan on reaching out to your high school principal. Do you remember his name?
Mr. Ridge.
Yep, Mr.
Yeah.
Ridge. So Mr. Ridge is out there, and Mrs. Mealy. I've reached out to Mrs. Mealy to see if that's something they've thought about or anything. She said they hadn't at this point, but I'm going to reach out to Mr. Ridge and see if this is something he's interested in. And then what I was kind of thinking was, obviously this isn't free.
Yeah.
Right. This equipment doesn't just
just magically
appear.
Yeah.
It kind of does when Amazon shows up. It's kind of cool. It's like, oh God, Amazon's here. Thank you. It's like Christmas every day sometimes. But what I thought about was utilizing my podcast to raise the money to buy the equipment. If they would, put something together out there. So it'd be a matter of, getting 4 mics, a mixed cast similar to this, and then the program, like the recording program that you see up on my screen, that comes with it. So it's not even an extra cost, and it's usable on Mac or PC. So there's no cost there. It doesn't cost anything to put it up on Anchor by Spotify. I can post it there, and then they could just put links to it off of the school website, which is already there.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of getting content and having kids come in and sit down, create the content, kind of map it out, and then record it, post it. I think there's a place for everyone in that. For someone that doesn't want to be on the mic, they could just be doing the recording or the mix down. For the kids that want to be on the mic that have no interest in the other part, that's cool for them. And then there's some writing pieces to it as well. So I don't know, just something I'm tossing around trying to see and get it going. If you were to have a podcast, what would it be about? What would the Chris Secrest Show be all about?
It'd probably be about just like how my life like kind of started off and like how it like completely changed and stuff. Because when I used to live in Montpelier, my life wasn't the best. I would say, but I used to spend the night at Keith's house just because I really liked him. But I never really could because I mean it wasn't like super like popular to not popular. Like it wouldn't happen very often.
So you've dealt with a little bit of circumstance. I don't know what else to call it, my man.
Yeah, my dad was also kind of bad on like drugs and stuff. I never really realized it until I grew up and like kind of noticed like what like his like actions and stuff because he'd always kind of like move like a little weird. And I never really noticed it. Like he would like randomly like bend his knees and like have his like arms crossed. I never really noticed it until like I got older. But the thing was like I lived in Montpelier and then dad used all of my grandpa's money on like drugs and stuff because he was really bad on that. And then our house like light bill never got paid and then we were just out of electricity for a good while. But then we started like going into like motels for a bit and then I think I texted Shannon one day and told her, "Hey, I'm kind of hungry. Can you get me something from McDonald's? Because you know that like crappy motel, it's like right across from McDonald's. That's
Mm-hmm.
where we were."
Gotcha.
And uh, I realized she was somewhat close, like 15 minutes away, because we live out in Shamrock,
Yeah.
so that's not too far. But I said, "Hey, I'm kind of hungry. Can you give me something to eat?" And then she did, and we went to McDonald's, and then yeah, we went to see if my brother and my grandpa wanted something to eat. But then I think it was somewhat like soon after that. Then that's when I started like moving, like put my Xbox there, my TV, and that's when I just started like that's when I
You're
started
laying claim to it. That's what
yep.
you're doing. Uh-huh.
Yep. But now, I think I messaged you one day and I said that me and Shannon were switching rooms and I had
Yeah.
to like move my bed around and stuff. But now I have Shannon's old maybe $200 futon as a bed. But yeah, in my room it also had like a bunch of stuff like around the walls. Like I had like 3 flags. One was really corny. It said Saturdays are for the boys, and it was like red, white, and blue. Another one. Do you know who Travis Scott is by any
Yeah, I know
chance?
who Travis Scott is.
Yeah, I made my own flag of him, and it like had like his branding Astro World on it, and it had like a bunch of different like a bunch of different of his shoes. It was just supposed to look kind of goofy, so I got that, got it sent out, and now that's on my wall. And I also have a flag of my current most favorite like artist, Kanye West. He's my he's my most favorite right now. A lot of people think it's like kind of bad that I like him cuz like he's like really controversial right now, but I don't really like him like for like who he is. I just like his music.
Yeah.
But I've started to notice he's starting to get a lot better about like what he's saying and stuff. But he's getting a little better.
Yeah. He went off the deep end for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was most cuz like his mother passed away, and that's like right when she passed away, then he started to get like more like depressed, and then he started like putting on a mask and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, now I think he's got like some kind of clone. He says just walking around because it's like super
Clone?
yeah
Like a clone.
yeah it's like super tall. It wears shoulder pads for some reason with a like a German police shirt. It's really random, but yeah. Everyone says it's a clone, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just him in a mask wearing, some kind of platform shoes or something. So what is long term? Do you have a long term thought about what's and I always hate asking that question, especially people that, in their teens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I were to say to you, and I know you've probably heard, I'm guessing, I'm just thinking about my own experience. But if a teacher says, what do you want to do when you're in your 20s? Man, listen, I'll just be honest. Thinking about yourself in the 20s is like you thinking about half of your life. And most of the life you can remember. At 14, 20s is 10 years from now. I personally, I don't have a whole lot of memories prior to 4 years old, 5 years old, maybe a few here and there, right? My wife's always like, how do you not remember? I just don't remember, I just don't remember a whole lot. But I'm thinking about for somebody, and I've thought about this for a long time as a teacher, that my students that were 13, 14, 15, thinking about what are you going to do and what are you thinking about 10 years from now? My God, that's half your life. That's half your memorable life. If you really put it into perspective, half of it would be by that point, but to think about, here's what I want to do in 10 years in my 20s after I graduate college or, whatever it is, or I start my own career at 24, half of your life is already past you, right?
Yeah.
So I hate asking that question, but what is something that you're really interested in that you think, that's something I would want to do?
Maybe something with like, I know it's like Keith, if he even listens to this, he probably won't believe me, but it's mostly probably like putting stuff together, like welding stuff, maybe just kind of like construction. I wouldn't say construction. Kind of just putting stuff together. I would say I don't know what that would fall into, but
I think it would be some sort of construction
Yeah.
or, just an assembler of some
Yeah.
sort, or a creative of, I work with some guys in the current job I'm doing, as a furniture salesperson. So we have installers go out and I've got to go out with them and we inspect bleachers and do all kinds of stuff. And those guys have to be kind of all trades, right? So they actually, the group I watched out of the Lafayette, Terre Haute area, they're actually called, the name of their company is called All Trade. And in that group, they've got people that are carpenters, like master carpenters, cabinet builders, welders, mechanics, you name it, pipe fitters, all different types of people that fall into their group, and they go out and work on bleachers and build stuff for schools, the cabinets and desks and all the things that kind of go into making a school. But they're contractors of some sort. And I think maybe what you're talking about would fall into that.
Yeah.
Is there something that you currently build now that makes you think that's...
I mean, I like to try and kind of like take stuff apart and then put it back together.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it don't go too well, but sometimes it does. But I'm taking I'm taking Mr. Ugan's class this
Good.
year. And I heard it's like a kind of like a woodworking class. So I heard that and that kind of sparked me and I just wanted to do it.
Man, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I saw they built a bridge and they
Mhm.
built some picnic tables, some other stuff around. Yeah.
The thing I'm most excited for is the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
I'd seen they'd built a bridge. I can't remember what it was for. Was there something it was for, or was it just a...
I don't know. I think they do it like with every class or something maybe. And like I'm just going to take this into like my own like idea. I'm not sure if this is the exact thing, but what I feel like they do is like every class builds a bridge and whichever one's like the most sturdy or most best maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know, maybe they get a prize or something,
Gotcha.
but I see like every year on Facebook or just like in general, I always see like some class build a bridge and I don't know, I think it's just a thing he does. I'm not sure though. But
Cool. I'd put a post on something he'd put out there that they'd built a bridge of some sort, and I thought, man, we need some sort of bridge out on the walking trail. You ever get out on the trail? It goes from like Needlers back behind to the high school.
Yeah.
There's a spot there that always floods out by a pond, and that would be nice to have something that is a long-term fix-it for that, to when that water builds up, we don't have to, like, right now there are railroad ties out along the next to the trail that are just high enough to where when the water comes up, they don't get covered, so you can walk across them to get past the water. But boy, wouldn't that be awesome if the high school could build, the students themselves could build an actual bridge that would be a permanent fixture there, so that when it did flood, somebody didn't have to be endangered, trying to scurry across the railroad ties. So it might be an idea for you to throw out there. I guess we just did throw it out there on the podcast. And sometimes I forget that there's a microphone in front of my face, and I do just kind of get into the conversation. And I'm like, oh my God, I did just say that, and that is going to go out on the air, and but starting school. When's school start?
August 7th, I'm pretty sure.
Man, that is just around the corner, my friend.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate. Last year, last year, that's when I started to get like a lot of friends, like 8th grade, and school started August 3rd, and August 5th was like 2 days after that. It was on a Friday, and I was kind of scared like everybody was going to sing happy birthday. That's what everybody intended to do, and then I told them my birthday was August 6th just so they wouldn't. And they mostly did it like right after lunch or like right when lunch was going on. They did it in the cafeteria. Like they made you stand up.
That's
Every
right.
single one person in the room would sing to you. And I was kind of popular. I guess I still am. A lot of people surprisingly like me, but not surprisingly, but like I'm kind of like, I'm a lot different from everyone else. Like by the way I look, by the way I act, it's just really random. And when I find someone that's like kind of somewhat like me, it's like I know I'm going to be really good friends with them.
Yeah.
But right after lunch, I said that I told everyone that my birthday was actually that day since lunch was over. everybody's still saying happy birthday to me, like in the same like classes, but
They do.
it wasn't as bad as
Yeah.
you know, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's a problem on a podcast. Dead air
Yeah.
is not good, man.
Yeah. I remember, like I said, like if I find someone that's like me, like has the same humor, I know I'm gonna be good friends with them. Like my friend, his name's Camden Beckley.
Mm-hmm.
You might know his dad, Jack Douglas Beckley. Yeah. I'm good friends with Camden just because we both have the same humor. We're both caught up on the same thing. We both like the same stuff. But there's he plays this one game that I don't as much, and that's kind of the only thing that's like different. But,
Sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of gaming, you an online gamer?
Mm-hmm.
What's your game? What's your game of choice?
This is kind of like cringy because like people don't really
man.
don't.
We're gonna put out something that people don't really know about Chris.
Yeah, a lot of people know it.
Oh, okay.
But like it's like something that like it's a game no one really likes anymore, and it's Fortnite.
Oh man.
And I don't even really play it much anymore. It's starting to get boring because like their new updates aren't really like all that.
Yeah.
But I also have an Oculus, like a VR. Yeah, I play a lot of games on that. Like there's this game called Beat Saber.
Yeah.
And I just play that. There's a game called Rec Room where there's like paintball and stuff you can do. It's
I
just
haven't
like
seen that one.
yeah.
I have an Oculus. My brother and I we play golf. In the
Yep,
winter.
I saw you on that golf game like right when I first got it, and that I wanted to get it, but I've also been wanting to like kind of do golf too, just for fun.
Man, let me tell you, I didn't golf. I'd golfed twice in my life. Once when I was really young. I remember going with my cousins. And you know, I didn't really have a clue. I didn't really care. And that makes it even worse when you go out and play with someone. It's like, oh God, they're really into it, and I just don't. You know, I'm going to be terrible, and you are going to be terrible whenever you start something, right? I mean, but I started golfing a little bit more last year when I moved back to Hartford City, and you know, I live on a golf course.
Yeah,
I thought, okay, man, I got to, you know, maybe I do have to start golfing. And still, I go into the golf club, and I am not a member. And they look at me like, you're not a member? You're in here all the time. I'm not in there all the time. But I probably do go in there enough to buy a membership and save me some money.
Yeah.
But, you know, shout out to them. They're doing a great job. This golf course is freaking awesome. And I enjoy watching the golf courts. You know, they pass by.
Yeah.
But whenever somebody, you know, hits a ball out behind my house or near my yard, it's... Talking about one of those little cringy moments. I'll go out by the back door, and usually the back door's shut when I say it, and I'll say, get out of here. Get out of here. Well, yesterday, my brother and I are golfing, and my brother hit into the rough that's right behind my house, and my wife comes out the back door. Like, she comes out the back door, and she's like, get out of here. Get out of here. But it's fun. I enjoy golf, and the reason I'm telling you this, I actually enjoy it. It's a challenge, with yourself, right? So, and it's a lifelong sport. I just watched something on it was on Instagram the other day. An 82-year-old man gets his first eagle, and an eagle is one under par. 82, and he got his first eagle, which is pretty cool. Like, the guy has played probably a long time, I would guess. I mean, he's 82, unless he started last year at 81. But you know, yesterday I got my first par. So, but I shot horribly the rest of the round, but you know what? I got my first par, and I'll take it. And I was really excited. There's this little thing called a divot tool. So when you hit the ball on the green, once you land on the green, if it leaves a dent in the green, you got to use this little divot tool to get that divot out of the green. Right? You want the green as smooth as silk. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I got to use my divot tool yesterday, and I was super excited about it because I had it in my pocket, and I never carried it in my pocket. So from now on, when I play golf, I'm going to have to put that stinking divot tool in my pocket so that it's there, right? So maybe I'll get another par, or maybe I'll do better. Maybe I'll get my first eagle at 49. Who knows? But it's been an enjoyable sport. I highly encourage you to go out and go for it.
See, now in like, I think it was like 2019 maybe, I remember me and Keith and Shan, we were all driving past the golf course because we was on our way home. we always drive past the
Mm-hmm.
golf course, and every time we drive past there, I always look and just watch how just watch them. It's like really interesting. But one specific night, I told Keith, "Hey, I want to go golfing really bad. Can you take me?" And he said, "Hey," or he said, "Yeah, text your dad, and if he'll let us borrow his golf clubs, then yeah, I'll take you." And so I texted my dad, and he asked me why I wanted him, which I was like, "Huh?" And I said to golf, and he said, "Well, I know that, but I didn't know what else he was expecting." But then, unfortunately, I never got the golf club, or yeah, I never got the golf club. So I've actually never really golfed out there, which is
Oh man.
yeah, really unfortunate. But uh, when we when he passed, I also got his guitar and stuff, but I was kind of expecting to get the golf clubs, but I was like really disappointed when I didn't, because I've always wanted to go golfing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I think maybe for like whenever I get money for my birthday, I think I'm gonna get that golf game on the VR.
Oh man.
But
It's interesting. I won't say that it's lifelike, but it's really close.
yeah,
I mean, as close as you're going to get. So I golf much better on the VR game than I do in real life.
that's I used to have a Wii. I've been trying to look for like the cords for it now. There's like one cord. No, actually, I think I'm missing the remote. That's what I'm missing. I have all the cords for it except actually maybe the sensor too. Yeah, I'm missing the sensor and the remote. And I've been trying to look for those ever since me and Shan were switching rooms. We had to clean the whole room out. I couldn't find them, which was really disappointing. But we still have the closets to clean out and have like trash bags in there with a bunch of old stuff. So I'll probably look through that. But I used to play golf on the Wii all the time, and just recently, I think yesterday, I saw my buddy Colin Cronin.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing this game called Golf with Friends on the Xbox. So I downloaded it just to see what it was, because I was able to get it for free because I have the subscription thing.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it, and then my friend Caleb, he just had it because he probably played it with Colin. But yeah, we both got on, and we were just having a blast just playing it. It was kind of a crappy game, but it was still like playable. Like once you get the hang of it, it was fun, because like you play as the golf ball, and like you use the joystick or whatever it's called. I think a joystick.
Mm-hmm.
You move it in order to like see like how much power you want to hit it at, and then you just press A, and it just hits it.
So it's like the toggle. Is that?
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
Sometimes they call it a toggle. I get it. I was wondering if that was it. If there was some sort of, if you pulled it back and then released, or you had to hit a button. That's interesting.
Yeah.
On the Oculus, it's not like that.
Yeah, I'm assuming you have to like actually like
You
like,
swing. Yeah, you got
mhm.
to line up. You got to swing. Like, and if so, my swing, I have what's called a slice. So when I hit the ball, it makes a right turn. Just about 90% of the time right now. Every once in a while, I can hit the ball straight. When I hit the ball straight, I hit the crap out of it. And usually pretty happy with that. But most of the time, I slice. Well, on the Oculus, I slice about 90% of the time. So, but like you, I've been watching some YouTube videos trying to get better at golf, trying to understand. All right, so that's what I need to do. I have a resource. I have a friend of mine. I'm going to try and get her on the podcast. Her name's Erica Wyckoff, and we went to school together. She was a professional golfer. She graduated from Blackford. Like, lady is a legit golfer. But she golfed since she was like a munchkin out here at the golf course. But anywho, there's resources out there to get better. And for you, man, you get to start now. It's not like starting at 49
Yeah.
and trying to figure it out, watching YouTube and some dude, here's how you hit the ball 14 miles, Oh, I got to watch that, when I'm not physically capable. But I think that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
I'm sure High is going to try and get you to go out for track, so he can keep you,
Yeah. See, with football as it is, I'm not into the running, so unless I get unless I lose some weight and like get more stamina, then I might be okay. I'll try track, but
I could see you golfing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see it. I see it. You kind of got the mindset of a golfer.
Mm-hmm.
You got some deep thought going on. I can see
Especially
it
this
here.
shirt. This is
Well, you do have a golf shirt on
it's
too.
yeah.
That's true.
I was looking on Amazon just for some new ones, and like this morning, and I didn't really realize this was actually a golf shirt until like
Yeah.
I had this specific part on it, like the little line
Yep.
there, and I actually realized it was a golf shirt.
It's a sharp shirt, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
pretty
it.
comfortable too.
I'm shocked that it's Under Armour coming from Keith. Everything does it
Yeah.
own anything that's not Under Armour?
No,
I didn't think so. Like,
maybe some of his old cut sleeve shirts
uh-huh.
that he uses for work. He has like 2 Nike ones, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, man, he was a huge help to me when I was coaching softball, and man, I couldn't have done it without him. That guy was absolute rock star and just a giver. And obviously, you know that.
yeah.
He is an absolute giver, and what a wonderful person he is. Very fortunate to have him in your life.
Yeah.
So you brought up something that's up to you if you want to talk about. I didn't realize your dad had passed away too. I went to school with your mom.
Yeah.
I've known her pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you had lost your dad as well. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
He passed away in 2021. Pretty recent, but it was to suicide,
Yeah.
which was I didn't really think. I mean, I kind of assumed that's what it would have been because knowing like he wasn't really responding to texts or calls. He was kind of just like down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was mostly because mom passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was he was just kind of down and it was just that really messed him up. And June 26, 2021, I woke up. It was the day after summer school. I was really excited to just get on my game. And then I went to go use the bathroom, and Keith and Shan were just sitting in the living room, and they told me, and it just messed me up. But then I went straight to my game, and then that just cheered me up. So, like all I do to like kind of cheer myself up is mostly play my game or like just like ride around on like the 4-wheeler or bike or something. But yeah, it's crazy that like both my parents are gone, but I got kind of used to it because Keith, he's like a really good like parent. But Shannon kind of turned into like a mom for me because she's like really scolding and
Is she?
yeah.
Oh man.
She she thinks she's all that because she's like what like 10 something young 10
She's gotta
something
be about
years
12 years older than you.
yeah.
I would guess.
She's turning 27 this year and I'm
Yeah.
turning 15. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're pretty blessed to have a great support team around you.
Yeah.
And to get to fall into, to Keith's arms and have that guy around you, man. God bless you for that. 'Cause
Yeah.
you couldn't ask for a better person to just give you an opportunity. So good. And met your grandpa for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa is a pretty nice guy. He just most of the time he just doesn't care about like I mean, I wouldn't say like that, but I mean like he's just chill and
Yeah.
stuff. The only time I've seen him mad, not even mad, is maybe when his dog like just ran out the house. His dog likes to run out the house, but he's fine with it now just because he knows the dog will come back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That's his dog, man.
yeah,
Get back in here.
yeah. He literally does that. And whenever I come over and like go into the house, I always have to say like no, like really loud, and it scares the dog, so it just goes up on the couch. It works every time. But yeah.
So what's next for Chris? What are we going to see more guitar videos? You posted
Probably.
something today or yesterday.
Yeah. I think
I didn't get to watch all of it. I just saw the beginnings.
yeah, I think it was literally just like I went on live for like a minute, like as a joke, and I just got off. It was like really.
And
late.
I enjoy the guitar videos.
I'm probably gonna post one today.
It's good for you too, because
Yeah.
it kind of holds you accountable to. All right, I got to play better. You
Yeah.
got, when people are watching, you got to step up. It's kind of like this show. If I say something on here, somebody's gonna call me out on it. If I say,
Yeah.
"Hey, reach out to me, I'll get you on the show," somebody's gonna call me out on it, right? Living proof.
Yeah.
So what do I got to do? I got to stand up, man. I got to stand up. So get over here. And we worked on this for 2 weeks trying to get you in.
Yeah.
It's tough. it's tough for two people to get their schedules together, and I've been very blessed to have a number of people that have showed up and had the time to spare to come over and hang out with me. And you met my wife downstairs.
Yep.
And, that's probably the first time you remember meeting her. You know, she's the type, she would just sit in the chair and watch softball, and she didn't get too involved in anything. But she's been a real blessing in my life. So I get it. When you need that support system around, you got to have somebody that you can depend on, somebody that's going to care for you, somebody's going to tell you no.
Yeah.
Right? She's certainly been that person for me. And so what kind of things, now, just to ask, I'm picking your brain now, what kind of things you want to hear on the Schick Show? What type of things you want me to bring on? Now listen, I don't have an outreach where I can get big name people. I'm not Joe Rogan, dude. All right?
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of like to see like more like teachers on here.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I really enjoy listening to Mr. Simpson's one.
Yeah.
I listened to that whole thing, which it was like what 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 54 minutes, I think is what it was. Let me look and see. I've got it up right here. Yeah, 50 minutes, right at 50 minutes.
It took me like I cut through, like not literally cut through it, but like I paused here and then.
Yeah.
But I still listened to the whole thing. I really liked it.
Good.
But yeah, I'd like to see like more teachers or coaches on here, like High, for example.
I just reached out. It's funny you say that because I just reached out to him this week to see if he's interested in coming on. He is. We're just trying to figure out when.
Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely listen to that.
Good.
Do you know Mr. Dawson, Gary Dawson?
Know Mr. Dawson.
I'd like to hear him on here. He's one of my favorites too. Or even Mrs. Lee. She was pretty strict, but I liked her. She was a good teacher.
So when I was teaching, this is when we were at the old junior high. I was on one end of the hall, she was on the other. And it worked out really good because you had me on one end that I would hold kids accountable coming up one end of the stairs. She was on the total opposite end, and she had that thing on lockdown on her end of the stairs too. And we just ran that upstairs. We ran the 8th grade, and then we had, super fortunate to have Mr. Allen involved in that. We had some other few teachers that popped in and out over the few years, but yeah, she's a great one.
Yeah. Speaking of like teaching, like at Blackford, have you ever like reconsider like going back to the high school and teaching, or?
It just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be not a principal coming into this school year. When my job opportunity came to me, it wasn't something I was even considering. I hadn't even thought about not being in schools for the foreseeable future, and this opportunity came along, and it was just a great fit, right time, right place, and I ran with it. But, I said last year, my dream would be to retire from Blackford schools. And I still mean that. What that looks like, I don't know. Maybe I'm 65 when I do it, or maybe I'm the next Jerry Hoover. I retire when I'm 80. Who knows what that looks like. But I certainly would consider it. Yeah. And I've honestly thought about, one of these days when I am retired, going back into the classroom. Mr. Biddle did that. Dr. Biddle is retired and gone back into the classroom. Seems to be enjoying what he's doing. And
speaking of Dr. Biddle, my uncle Randy, he actually bought his old Jeep from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was crazy. When he said he bought his blue Jeep, I thought it was literally gonna be like one of those like Jeeps without the doors, a bright blue. But he pulled up in like a
Cherokee, is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure.
Something like a Cherokee Sport or something.
Probably.
Was it maroon or was it blue?
It was blue.
Was it?
It was like a really dark blue.
He had an old truck that my brother-in-law bought. It was a white Ford pickup truck that my brother-in-law Rob bought years ago. And I would see that thing at the school when I was working there, and then next thing I know, I see it pulling up into my mother-in-law's yard, and I'm like, "What the heck is Dr. Biddle doing?" But yeah. So, big things coming for you. How can people find Chris online?
Well, my Facebook is just my name, Christopher David Secrest. I don't know why I made it the full thing.
Man, look at you going all formal. I see it.
I got my, I have my Facebook. I have.
You on Instagram?
No. I mean, I have it downloaded. I just don't use it.
Is that just not a kid thing?
I mean, not really anymore.
I didn't think it was.
I have
see
a
older people get.
yeah. I have a Snapchat. It's like it's a really corny name.
Oh, let's hear it.
Ah,
He's got to look it up.
Yeah.
You know your name.
it's something about Kanye, like usual.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Kanye dot is a genius.
Kanye dot is a genius.
Yep. And my character is supposed to look like Kanye West.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Snapchat, Facebook. That's really pretty much it.
Gotcha.
Except like my email, crssecrest@gmail.com. That's pretty much the only one.
Hey, I
use,
appreciate that you're not doing some stupid, Pretty Pony 42
yeah.
at Gmail.
Originally, I just like my Snapchat. It was just my name, but then I realized I could change the username, so I was like, hey, might as well.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing with my Instagram. It was, I think it was a little alpine white in the beginning because it was a lot of Bob Ross stuff I was posting on there, and I was like, yeah. That's just a lot of work. To me, social media is a lot of work to begin with. Yeah. So I don't post a lot on Instagram. I don't post a lot on Twitter or Facebook. But when I see something that I'm like, hey, I want to share it, I'll typically share it. And I'll put some stuff on there about the show. And but the real Mr. Schick at Instagram, at on Twitter, and at Gmail. The real Mr. Schick. And I think, just so everybody knows, Schick is an SCHICK. Some people forget the C, and and I had a lot of students and a lot of people growing up that forgot it was an ick, not an it. Schick is with an ick, not an it, and make sure I let everybody know that's an important piece of it.
Speaking of that little mess up or whatever, I noticed when you made the podcast, the Schick Show, I noticed that it kind of sounded like
interesting.
Yeah. I told that to Keith and Shan. They both got a kick out of it.
Well, I don't know if you saw when you came in. There's a walk stone or just a stone out front of our house that says the Schick Shack. When we go out, I'll make sure I show it to you. But that was actually made for my mother by a lady here in town, and Jerry made that for my mom years ago, right before she passed away, and then I ended up with it here at the house. I need to reach out to her and see if she can touch it up. She had actually told me a few years ago, hey, I'll touch that up if you want me to. So I need to reach out to her. But I'll show it to you on the way out. Do you want to see the Bob Ross?
Sure.
Yeah? So I've got a Bob Ross painting downstairs. I'll share that with you here in a few, too. But anything else we need to talk about? What did we miss? Anything?
I don't believe so. I mean, can't think of really
I've got a question for you. I just thought of this. I was looking over at my coaster that my brother-in-law Kevin made, the Schick Show coasters here they made with his etching business. So what I'm thinking about in the future is when guests come on, I want to have something like a parting gift. You ever go on a game show, you're going to get some sort of parting gift no matter what. And I want to make sure I have something for my guests when they come over. What would be something that would be worthwhile to take home from the Schick Show? I've thought about and it's got to be something small. It's not like I have no budget here, right? I mean, zero budget. In fact, I have less than zero budget because I've already overspent on what I told my wife this whole thing would cost. We started out at $300. I said, I can do it for $300. We're way beyond $300 at this point. Just want to put that out there. But so I'm just thinking something small, something, I've thought about keychains. I've thought about like bottle openers or what do you think?
Yeah, those are two good examples. Maybe even like the coaster itself, or like maybe just like a mug or a cup or something.
I've thought about a cup. I've thought about a coffee cup or even just a little glass cup or something.
I'd probably use one of those.
You would? You'd be like, hey Keith, give me some Powerade in the Schick Show cup. Is that how that sounds?
Yeah.
Put some ice in there for me. I like the way it jiggles around on the glass. Is that?
Yeah.
I can hear you saying that.
No, like I seriously whenever I get something to drink, say a Coke or something, I use a lot of the time I get a coffee cup. I pour it in a cup and I get ice in it just because it feels classier.
I'm gonna start looking at I can't think of what they're called, but they're glass about yay big, and y'all can't see this, but it's about the same as a coffee cup, but it's made of glass,
just pure glass.
That way when you pick it up, you're gonna feel like, I'm important, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, not a coffee cup, because then it's like I'm at work, and I'm drinking my coffee in the morning. And no, we're getting. I think I'm gonna reach out to my brother-in-law, say, hey, let's get some like drink glasses, glass, and let's etch the Schick Show on them, and that's gonna be my parting gift for my guests.
I like that idea.
And I'm to the point now, right now, where I can get back with the few people that have come in and recorded, and make sure I catch up with them, and then that way they can be big deals. I mean, just imagine it'd be about the size of this, and you all can't see this, but I'm wrapping my my Schick Show coaster around a little tray that I have on my desk, and you're gonna be able to like pick it up and be like, hey Keith, give me a Coke, some ice, and the Schick Show glass. And almost like product placement. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can be a like product placement guy for me. You can put that on your Instagram, or well, you don't do Instagram, but on your snaps.
Yeah.
Be like, just hanging out, playing some guitar, drinking some Coke out of my Schick Show cup. It's cool and refreshing, right?
Yeah.
You could be my product placement. I thought about getting a shirt too.
Ooh.
I thought about some T-shirts, and I'll show you here in a second. But there's a drawing over there. I put it on some of my Facebook posts. It's the drawing of me. It's like a sketch of me.
I just saw that this morning.
I'm thinking about using that and just putting a big one on the back of a shirt, like full size, like cover the whole back of a shirt, and that's all it'd be. Is that picture, that drawing,
Like nothing else.
and it might say the Schick Show under it. You know what I mean? That
Like
way,
nothing on the front or.
no. It'd be like you don't even see it coming until they're by you. That's kind of the whole thing about it. You don't even know what hit you until that person walked by, and you're like, whoa, man, that's got to be the Schick Show. I had no idea I needed that in my life.
That's not a bad idea. You should do that. That's a must.
Like
I
could go out to football games and have cheerleaders throw them up into the crowd.
that'd be awesome.
All right, now it's getting ridiculous, right? But yeah, so I've got some ideas I'm running around, but like I said, I'm just trying to keep it low key and low budget, and I'm trying to stay away from advertisers. I am, and I mentioned on one I'll never do it. I hate saying never. I don't like using finality type words like I'll never or everybody. So just so you know, if you ever get in trouble, don't say, well, everybody was saying. Everybody wasn't saying, okay? I'm just putting that out there to you. Don't say everybody was saying, well, it happens all the time. No, it doesn't happen all the time.
Keith gets on me for that sometimes.
It's not all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it happened twice in our lifetime, right? I mean, yeah, you better watch it. Words matter. Don't over exaggerate. Yeah. Own it, right? All right. Well, we're closing in on time. Grandpa's going to be on his way.
Yeah.
Final words?
Tune in for the next episode of the Schick Show.
Man, I love this guy already. That's right. Well, thanks, Chris, for coming on. Thanks for sharing with us. And man, you got quite the story. You've lived a lot of life for a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, thanks for having me too.
And I'm excited. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for you and your football team. And just gut it out, dude. No matter what, there's gonna come a time where you're like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
we all go through it.
I've already had a lot of those, but I still
get up. Just get up.
I still
fight through it.
Like my old friend Michael, we're not really friends anymore, but he just quit. Like I kept trying to push him, like, hey, get up, 6 a.m, get ready, we gotta go, and he just didn't.
Man,
it was like 2 days. He went to like maybe a few workouts and a practice. A meaning one. He went to one practice, and then he just started to like slack, and then he just stopped.
But here's something I'll always ask my students, and I always tell them, my goal for us as human beings, and when I was a teacher, and I feel like I'm still a teacher, just who I am. We're adults, and we're here to help you guys. Just know that when we see each other out in public, when you're 25, so 10 years from now, right now I'm hitting you with that 10-year thing. When you're 25 and you got kids, and you see Coach C-High walking through Walmart. Are you going to want to walk up to him and say, "Hey, coach, say hi"? Or are you going to feel a little bit embarrassed because you quit and you're going to avoid him? You know what I mean?
Ooh.
You're going to want to say hi.
Yeah.
Give that guy a chance, right? Give those coaches a chance. Give Coach Dawson a chance, and everybody a chance to impact your life, and you get to impact theirs at the same time.
Yeah.
But always remind everybody: are you gonna avoid them, or are you gonna seek them out? And I always wanted my students to seek me out, and even the kids who I had to discipline at a high level, like expel them, I still was able to meet with them out in public somewhere. Just like a few months ago, met a girl. I think I talked about this on a podcast. There was a girl came into Roadhouse, and I couldn't figure out who she was. Like I recognize her, but it took me a minute. Is this kid from my classroom? Did I coach her in softball at like the league level or travel ball, or do I know this kid from working at the pool? Where do I know this kid from? She came over and started talking to us, and I'm like, God, I know this kid. And she leaves me and my wife at the table, and she goes and sits with her family and her daughter. And I'm sitting there, and it finally dawns on me who it was. And I looked up at Jennifer, and I said, oh, my God, now I remember her name. And first thing I did, right before I left, I just walked over to her. Thanks for coming over and saying hi. That meant a lot to me. And then we left.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you very much. This is the Schick Show. Reach out to me at the real Mr. Schick, Twitter, Instagram, and at gmail.com. I am so excited you're here. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming in. Man, listen, most of my listeners are in that 40 to 50 range, like 50 years old range. Y'all just got some insight into the mind of a 14-year-old today. I lived this life for about 9 years, but for many of you out there, that's not something that you've got to experience a whole lot of unless you have them. But even then, I think it's kind of a veiled attempt at really knowing who they are. But Chris is an awesome guy. I'm super excited for him. We're going to keep him rolling forward. We're going to try and get him a podcast. Chris Show.
Yeah.
You know, we'll come up with some slick name, that has a play on words like the Schick Show. And man, I like it. Thanks, everybody. We're out.